Welcome back. Well, today we have Eric Scarbrough, who is a candidate for the Orange County Superior Court Judge. Well, welcome to the show. How are you today?
I'm fine. Thank you very much for having me.
You're welcome. Now, you've been a prosecutor and you've been doing an awful lot of things here in Orange County. But before we get into a lot of your history, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, I was born and raised here in Orange County. I'm the youngest of 3 sons. My parents came into Orange County because they were looking for an opportunity. They wanted to start small businesses, and they came from real small towns in the South, and it was very difficult, Southern California by the border, to start any sort of business there. So this was their opportunity to really kind of be on their own and develop the family.
Well, nice. Well, what kind of businesses did they start?
So my dad is an accountant, so he opened a CPA firm, but he started a casa de cambio, a check cashing establishment.
Okay.
And it was a family business. When we weren't at home, the weekends we were cleaning, we were helping out, doing anything we could. The whole family was involved.
Oh, that's great. And you know, I think that's kind of lost these days, right? I mean, we don't really have that many family businesses that go back generations. So that's nice to hear that you still have one, at least still in the area. So you've been a prosecutor for some time. What would be some of the cases that you've been handling?
Well, one of the major areas I've worked in was sexual assault. And that was a tremendous experience. It was something that I wasn't really prepared for when I started, but we're dealing with the most vulnerable victims, children, adult females. And one of the very first cases I handled was a cold hit case where it took 20 years for the victim to get justice. It was a terrible kidnap, rape over Christmas Eve. And when I got the case, it was an incredible challenge to put it together. But ultimately, after 20 years, we were able to get this woman justice.
Wow. Well, you know, you have a family and you have children. And when you hear about cases like that, it must just be pretty gut-wrenching.
You know, I'm very fortunate because my wife and my children are my relief. They are my safety. It's what makes me motivated to do the work, but it also gives me that safety valve when I can come home and kind of leave work at the office.
Right. How old are your children?
I have a 7-year-old, a 5-year-old, and a 3-year-old.
Oh, so you're 3.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a lot to handle and a lot of things. So, you know, it's tough to be a family man as well as, you know, do a lot of these things. How do you think the transition from being a prosecutor to a judge will play, you know, kind of go into play?
That's an interesting question. That's very common for you become an attorney, you're an attorney and then you become a judge. So one of the things that not a lot of people realize with prosecutors is we already evaluate cases where we have to look at both sides. Okay. Before a case is ever filed, we're already looking at the defenses, the whether or not it should be filed in the first place. It's going to be an interesting change, but I'm looking forward to now, instead of being an advocate, really going for being able to sit back and listen to both sides before I make a decision.
Right.
This is something that I think is essential, is really having an open mind for being a judge, and something that I've always prided myself on as an attorney.
So outside of, you know, being currently at, oh shoot, I forgot what you do. You're a prosecutor. All right, let's try it again. See, I'm the one that messed up, not you. Outside of just being a prosecutor, what are some of the things that you do in the community that might lend to your experience?
Well, I've been a senior deputy district attorney for about 10 years now. And one of the things when I started working these vertical units, sexual assault and homicide, I felt like I needed to shift back to really help the community. So one of the groups I'm involved in works with 5th graders and 6th graders, where we keep them out of gangs, we tell them the importance of schooling, and now we've really shifted into talking about cyberbullying and that kind of social stigma that comes with the internet age. Another group that I'm involved with that I'm very, very happy to have been working with for the past 15 years is the Constitutional Rights Foundation. I work with high school students, and really we teach them about our form of government, particularly the judicial branch. They actually take on the roles of prosecutors, defense attorneys, and witnesses, and they do a full trial. We compete at the high school level amongst several high schools in Orange County. I worked first with Northwood in Irvine for several years, and these last several years I've been working with Santa Ana High School.
That's great. That's great. I mean, that's certainly something that needs to be on the forefront. And the fact that you're working with the younger ones, I think that is great, because it seems like they're just getting younger and younger.
And it really gives us an opportunity to kind of stop people from getting involved in the criminal justice system at all.
Right.
These students, it's all volunteer time. We meet usually for 3, sometimes 4 hours after school on the weekends. It's a huge commitment for them, and they do phenomenal.
What's the reception like at the high school level to do something like that?
You know, it's a little bit of, we have to kind of prove ourselves, as you can kind of imagine. It's like a substitute teacher coming in. At first, everyone's a little bit wary, and they don't have necessarily the level of understanding. But within a few days, not only do they get it, they really seem to love and appreciate having us there.
Great. Well, the more we can educate our young ones on what goes on, the better.
And we've had some great success with these students. Some have gone on to Ivy League schools. A lot of them have gone on to 4-year colleges where they've done amazing work.
That is great. That is great. Now, you have quite a few people that have endorsed you. Tell me a little bit about that.
I've been very fortunate, luckily through my work as a prosecutor and in the community, a lot of people have really stepped up and said, this is someone we need as a judge. Don Barnes, the sheriff, he's been a huge supporter of mine. But what I really appreciate is I'm getting support from really all sides. I have from all the political spectrum, people are lining up to support me. I've had police agencies, defense attorneys, the lawyers, the public lawyers, so the prosecutors and the public defenders have both stepped forward to support me. It's been a tremendous amount of a well of support that I've really appreciated.
Why is it important for us as voters to choose the right judge?
The judge is one of the government officials who has the most direct, immediate impact on people's lives. Not a lot of people think about that. They think about maybe the local races, the mayors or the presidential races, but a judge is someone who makes a decision about people's lives every day. Mm-hmm. When we talk about lawsuits and bail, all those sorts of factors are all done by a judge making those decisions. So it's important to get the right experienced judge. That's really what's key. You need somebody who has seen it, who understands it, and understands the impact the law will have on people's lives. Mm-hmm. And that's something that I think that I can bring to the table is for the past almost 20 years now, I've done it on a daily basis.
Mm-hmm. That is great. Well, I appreciate the information. Thank you so much, and good luck to you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And thank you for having me.
You're welcome. And if you want more information about Eric Scarbrough, you can always go to his website, which is scarboroughforjudge.com. We'll be right back.